Hey guys, so I wanted to make just a quick little video of me here before we get into the video of the lesson. I had a little bit of trouble recording this time because I ran out of room on my iPad, so it kept kicking me off. So there will be points where it's a little bit choppy because I ended up needing 4 different videos to make the one video, to make today's lesson. So just keep in mind that if you see a spot where my hand all of a sudden moves to a different spot, or things kind of jump around, or the wording sounds a little bit off, um, most likely that is from when I was struggling to get all my videos together and then edit it, okay? So other than that, this is going to continue like normal, and yeah, have fun.
Alright, so we are starting here with the Do Now from Module 3, Lesson 8. From there, we are actually going to go over that homework 45 from a couple nights ago, since I forgot to go over that in yesterday's video. And then we're going to move into Lesson 8. So you'll notice we're skipping Lesson 7. I'll talk more about that when we get into that. Okay, so here we have this. So this is all translating expressions and equations. So when we talk about translating, normally you would talk about like translating English into Spanish or something like that. It's the same idea here. We're translating these words into math sentences. So we're taking a sentence. You don't have symbols in yours, but I do, just because I couldn't fit it. Taking a sentence, putting it into just numbers and symbols. Okay, so number one here, we have 6 more than. So anytime I see one of these flip-floppers, I actually like to write that on top of it. So more than sorry, I'm talking fast, means that I'm going to switch the order. Okay, so 6 more than, so eventually I'm going to add 6 3 times a number. So the number we're calling x, and we're doing 3 times that. So we're flipping the order, so it's going to be 3x and then 6 more. Okay, 2, we have a number divided by 4 minus 3 is 10. So a number x divided by 4, so it's one kind of together, x divided by 4 minus 3 is 10. Okay, so this one could actually be written as a fraction as well, and that would just be, let me write it in a different pen so I can write it smaller. X over 4 is a fraction, minus 3 equals 10. Okay, this is the preferred way to write it here with the fraction, but this is also equivalent. Okay, so 4 times the quantity. Quantity means that we're going to have parentheses, 5 plus a number. So 4 times, so 4, and then we have parentheses, 5 plus a number. 5 plus x. If you had chosen y, z, p, q, whatever letter you chose is fine. But do keep in mind you want to stay away from using O, because O looks just like a 0. You want to stay away from L or I or whatever. It looks like a 1. There are a couple others that you just want to stay away from just because they look like other numbers, S's. Okay, that could look like a sloppy 5. Okay, so are these numbers or are they letters? Okay, so those are just things that you want to keep in mind that you should probably steer clear of. Okay, so 4, 3 times the opposite of a number is 12. 3 times the opposite of a number. So 3 times opposite of a number. Opposite means the negative. Number is x, so it's negative x. And then is equals. Equals 12. This was an is up here. Okay, so I can write it like that. I could write this in parentheses if I would like. Doesn't matter. As long as you show 3 times negative x equals 12. Okay? And then 5. 20 less than a number times 8. So 20 less than a number times 8. So you want to do the number times 8 and then 20 less, which is flipping it. Okay, so it's minus 20. So a number times 8, so 8x, and then 20 less. You really want to be writing your letter second, so you want your number first and then your variable. X8 is weird. We would prefer to say 8x, okay? All right, so if you are good here, we are going over that homework 45, module 3, lesson 5 homework. Oh, that's supposed to be 6 also. That's supposed to be lesson 6. I was like, wait, hold on. We already went over lesson 5. Okay, so we're just going to go over this briefly. I have it all worked out already for you. So A, all you have to do here is actually just subtract your fractions. So 1/2 minus 3/8. When you do that, you get common denominators of 8 here. This is times 4 to get there. Okay, and then you get 1/8. Or in your calculator, you type 1/2 using the ABC key minus 5/8. That's fine, but you have to be typing the right parts into the calculator. You can't type X, you can't type everything. You have to do 1/2 minus 3/8. Okay, so B, I got common denominators here of 15, so this becomes 6R. So 6R plus 7R is a total of 13R. C, I got common denominators here, and this one was the weird one. This is that C for cookie. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 4n. So that one was a little bit goofy, the way that kind of worked out there. But you end up with 3n minus 2n plus 16 plus 4n, which I moved over here to do that top, to do that numerator. And I'm left with, so 3n minus 2n I got is 1n plus 4n, I got 5n, and 16 is 16. Okay, this could be simplified more, could be broken down, but that's all we need to do there. Okay. So A, just distributing 4/5 times 15 gives you 12, minus 4/5 times 5 gives you 4. B, 4/5 times 1/4 is 1/5. We keep C. Minus 4/5 times 5 is 4. Here, I put a box around everything but the 8 because that 8 is not being distributed out. The 8's kind of all by itself, so you want to keep it by itself and just bring it straight down. So negative 4 times 1/8 is negative 1/2 R. And then this is negative 4 times negative 3.5, which gives you a positive 14. Like terms here are 8 and 14, which is 22. Okay, D, 1/5 of 5x is 1x, minus 1/5 of 15 is 3. And then like terms, you have 1x and minus 2x, which is minus 1x, minus 3. Okay, here 1/4 p, 1/4 times 4 is 1, plus 3/5 p, minus 3/5 times 1 is 3. 1/4 p plus 3/5 p, when you get common denominators or use your calculator, you're left with 17/20p. And then you have 1 minus 3/5, which is going to give you 2/5. Okay. So G, I got a common denominator of 14. So 6t plus 4 over 14, because you can multiply by 2. So 6t plus t is 7t. 4 plus negative 4 cancels. So you're just left with this. And last but not least, H, common denominators are 10. So this becomes 6x plus 4 instead of 3x plus 2, because we multiply by 2. So 9x plus 6x is 15x. Negative 4 plus 4 gives you 0. Okay, so 15x over 10. Sorry, of course, someone's calling me. 15x over 10 simplifies to any of these here. Okay, so from here, we're moving on to the lesson. So you need to be on lesson 8, okay? So what's going on is we are skipping lesson 7 just momentarily. Not momentarily, but just until Monday. So with lesson 8, what we're doing here is actually solving equations, okay? Lesson 7 would require you to write equations and then solve them after that, which is what we'll be doing Monday and Tuesday. But for now, we're just going to practice solving equations. So some of these you've seen before. Some of these you have done before. Even with me, or if not in the beginning of the year with me, you did it last year, okay? So with these equations, they're equations because they have an equal sign. What you want to do is you want to drop a line down from that equal sign, okay? That's a big thing. Kind of helps you remember that on each side you have to balance it out. So our goal here, if you look at this, talks about inverse operations. So multiplication and division are inverses, addition and subtraction are inverses. Your goal is to undo what's being done to x, okay? So we have x, then we have a 1 being added. So to undo a 1 being added, you want to subtract a 1, okay? So we're left with x here, and then 5 minus 1 is 4, okay? And 2, we have x plus 2. So we want to undo the plus 2, so the opposite is minus 2. So notice how I'm writing it this way. I'm writing minus 1, or minus 2, drawing the line, crossing out those ones. And then you do 5 minus 2 equals 3. Okay? Okay, so from there, I'm going to move down to 8 and 9. So eventually you will come, I want you to watch the whole video first, then come back and work on these problems. So 8 and 9 here. So you have what's being done to x is you have x minus 5. So you're undoing the minus 5, which is doing the opposite or the inverse. So you're going to do plus 5. So this cancels. This stays x. And 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay, and then we have x minus 5 equals 4. So you want to undo the minus 5. That's what's happening to the x. So you do the opposite, so plus 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. So x equals 9 is your answer. Okay? We're moving up to 24. 2 over 7 times x equals 10. So what you want to do when you have a fraction is you want to multiply by the flipped fraction. That's your best bet. Because the flip fraction is like the inverse fraction or the multiplicative inverse. So you're going to multiply in this case by 7 over 2. Okay, and what's going to happen is the 7 and the 2's cancel. So this is just x. I had my line here. And then 10 times 7 over 2. So if you do all the work for that, that's going to end up giving you 35. Okay? So 27 is going to be the same idea. So flipped fraction. We have negative 5/7, so you're going to multiply by negative 7/5. Okay? So negative 7/5 times this. And negative 7/5 times that. So this all cancels here. That's the goal. That's what we wanted to do. And now we have negative 25 times 7/5. You can use a calculator for this if you need to. 25 times 7 is going to give you 175 over 5. So x is going to equal 35. Oh, again, Weird. Okay. From here, next page, you're going to come back to these, don't worry. We're going to do 13 and 14 next. So 13 and 14. What is happening here? When you don't see anything, this is multiplication. You're undoing the multiplication. So to undo the multiplication, we're going to divide by that number. Okay? So 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. Okay? So again, for 14, undo what's being done. Undo the multiplication. So divide by 3. Okay, so looking at 18 here, notice I'm drawing my line down on every single one. I have -9 times x, so I'm still have multiplication. I'm still undoing multiplication, so I'm going to do division. The reason I wanted to show you this one, people are very likely to forget this negative here, and I don't want you guys to do that. So make sure when you divide, you're divided by this whole number here, okay? You're left with x. So 18 divided by 9 is 2, and then spun rules, they're back. Unlike signs, negative. Those will never go away. We've been telling you that spun rules are important. Solving equations, this stuff is extremely important. It's not going to go away. Okay? So we're going to finish off just 2 more questions, and then we'll have you on your way and working. Okay, so 32. You will notice here, you have 2 operations happening. You have multiplication and you have addition. Think about this 2 ways. You could think about this as reverse order of operations. So doing addition and subtraction first, and then multiplication and division, and then if you had any exponents or parentheses, which is not really a 7th grade thing, you would do that as well. Another way to think about this, you can think about these as being your friends, okay? So you have a friend, your best friend is 4, it's right next to you, it's right next to x. And then your kind of friend is this +6 here. If you have people over at your house and you send someone home, the person you're going to send home first, it's going to be the friend that you're kind of close with. Your best friend is probably going to stay last or sleep over or something. So we want to move that +6 first. So we're going to undo the +6. To undo the +6, we're going to -6 to both sides. We're going to carry the 4x straight down. Do 22 minus 6, okay, which is going to give you 14. Okay. Oops. 16. I know you're going to try and correct me on that. Okay. From there, we want to undo the 4 times x. So to undo times 4, we're going to divide by 4. Okay? So that 4x divided by 4 is x, and that was the goal. And then 16 divided by 4 gives us 4. Okay? So last question here, we're starting out the same way with the bar all the way down. And then we're going to move the subtraction first. So opposite of -3 is going to be a +3. So negative x equals, well, -10 plus 3. So this is your song, this is your different sign subtract, whatever way you want to remember it. Or you can actually type in to your calculator, -10 plus 3. Whichever way you do it, that should give you a -7. You are not done here because we have a negative x. We want a positive x. So what you can do is you can say, well, negative x is the same as -1x. So to get -1x all by itself, I'm going to divide by -1. Okay, because this is -1 times x. So once I do that, these negative ones cancel. I'm left with x. And then -7 divided by -1, your spun rules, says it's going to be a +7. Okay? So at this point, I want you to work on these questions. So start on the front here. Work on the questions here. So you're working on the questions on this page, page 41, and this page here, page 42. Crossing out 39, 40, 41. also crossing out 42, 43, 44, and then this stuff here, we'll get to the rest of this packet later. But I want your goal is to try and get up to 22, up to this third page here done. Okay, so go ahead and work on that. If you do finish all that, go back and finish your stuff from yesterday. If all that's done, come talk to me. I'll have something for you to do. All right, go ahead and work.